The incoming government is being urged to push ahead with laws for campaign financing. The Commonwealth Observer Group said this has been its plea, which dates back a decade ago, and wants the next government to make it a priority. Sanalala tells us more.
Let me be blunt. It's interesting that in this case, both major parties here seem to agree not to put it on the agenda.
In his pre-election meeting with both major political parties, Chair of the Commonwealth Observer Group, Evarist Bartolo, said they did not show much interest in pushing the agenda of campaign financing. He said their response took somewhat of a diplomatic answer.
The response of politicians. Yes, we are considering it. Yes, we took it to Parliament. Yes, there was the joint committee.
Mr. Bartolo also responded to a question as to why the parties may be unwilling to do so.
Well, usually the turkeys do not like Christmas. What is important is that there is pressure on making political parties go for campaign financing.
He urged the public to mount pressure since the political parties would not voluntarily engage in such a process.
This is an area where the media, I think, and where civil society have to put pressure on the political parties, because political parties, especially the main political parties in any country, I'm not talking about Trinidad and Tobago only, do not have the interest to do it. So it's important that citizens take the initiative to force political parties to do it.
And he said it's not a new call by the Observer Group, pointing out that the same group issued a similar one following the 2015 general election in TNT.
10 years ago, this group, made up of different people, obviously, recommended that the incoming parliament, political parties, and all relevant stakeholders prioritize this process of regulating campaign financing.
But Mr. Bartolo noted that this is not an issue solely affecting Trinidad and Tobago.
That unfortunately, Trinidad and Tobago is not the only jurisdiction, is not the only parliamentary democracy where campaign financing has not been regulated for the political parties. So you have regulation for the candidates, but not for the parties. And we think it's in the interest of democracy worldwide, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, not just in the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth Observer Group leaves the country on May 5th. Sonolala, TTT News.
The Commonwealth Observer Group is urging the Elections and Boundaries Commission, the EBC, to consult widely and improve the transparency when redrawing boundaries in constituencies. A total of 16 constituencies faced boundary changes by the EBC for the 2025 parliamentary elections, while there were name changes to 5 constituencies. Speaking at a media conference on Tuesday, Chair of the Commonwealth Observer Group, Evarist Bartolo, said it was imperative that this be conducted in a more transparent process in the future.
We were being asked to go and vote. New places together, they had been all the time. For example, they would have participated in 8 different elections and always voted in one place. And they were now going to be asked to vote in another place. That was the cause of concern. But having said that, we know of no case where we observed where those people who felt disoriented and confused did not then vote. They did go to the new places and they voted. And that is what is important.
However, he applauded and commended the move by the EBC to weed out those who should not be on the list of electors.
There is a recommendation and we discussed this even with the EBC, to weed out from the register those who are not eligible to vote. And that exercise has started and needs to be continued. So if there are people on the register who shouldn't be there, should be removed. But what would have been worrying is that people who are on the register and shouldn't be there and vote. If they are there and do not vote, that is already a step forward.